Hi, lovely people. Today we are talking about something that has been on my mind quite a bit recently, and it is comfort in the way we dress. So, while this is something I have been thinking about for a long time, this video idea kind of came to be because of a comment that I left on a video. I love how you touched on what cozy means to you. I so wholeheartedly agree. I am a yoga teacher, so I wear leggings and generally form-fitting clothes daily to teach, but that is not what I feel cozy in. I much rather wear a nice knit, a flowy dress, a comfy skirt or jeans and a blouse. I feel most settled and therefore cozy when I am not only comfortable in the clothes physically, but also mentally. When I feel dressed and don't mind opening the door or going for a dog walk in what I wear. So that was the comment that I left on this video, and it kind of got me thinking a little bit more about what comfort is in the way that we dress. So I think in general, when a lot of people think about comfort, we are thinking about things like pajamas or workout clothes, something that is physically comfortable. But I also think that comfort, specifically in the way that we dress, is extremely personal, and it doesn't just stop with physical comfort. So I wanted to unpack this a little bit and kind of go into it a little bit deeper with you. If you have any specific thoughts on this subject, please do let me know in the comments. I would love to keep the conversation going down in the comments. But let's get into this. So, what most people think about when we think about comfort in the way that we dress is physical comfort. So, feeling physically comfortable in our clothes. And this can have to do with the fabric that your clothing is made out of. For example, stretch generally is seen as something that's more comfortable. Stretchy fabrics, soft fabrics are generally seen as more comfortable. I'm not going to say anything about the origin of the fabric, like more natural fabrics, which personally I think are a lot more comfortable, because I also know that there are people that actually do prefer more synthetic fabrics, so I'm not going to say anything about that. But then also the cut of your clothing really can make a difference in the comfort levels physically. So a looser fit might feel more comfortable than a tighter fit. A more firm-fitting fit might also feel more comfortable than a looser fit to some people. So again, highly personal. I guess also for physical comfort, the weather plays a big role, like the temperature, the humidity plays a big role in what is comfortable or not for you at that specific point. But there's like physical comfort, and generally what we see as comfortable, like when you think about comfortable clothing, for a lot of people I think that's going to be exercise clothing and like pajama homeware kind of clothing. Those are specifically designed to be comfortable. But while it is physically comfortable, it's not something that I feel emotionally comfortable in for my day-to-day wear. Like I said in that comment, I am a yoga teacher. I am in yoga clothes a lot, like a lot. It's part of my job. But while those are comfortable to do yoga in or to teach in, they are not comfortable in my like otherwise day-to-day life. That is not the clothing that I want to wear when I have a day off. That's not the clothing that I want to wear when I am at home, just going about the rest of my life, besides teaching a yoga. And that doesn't have to do anything with the comfort in physical comfort. That is much more to do with emotional comfort. So, how you feel in your clothing. So, where one person might really feel also emotionally comfortable in exercise clothing, in their pajamas, and they are fine going out in that. I know people that are like that. And those people have also commented on me getting completely ready for even just a day off and at home. I will get dressed for a day just lounging around at home. I won't stay in my pajamas and I won't stay in my yoga clothes because that's not what I feel emotionally comfortable in. And that's something that they don't understand. And at the same time, I have a hard time understanding, I guess, that they do feel emotionally comfortable in that. But that is so personal. So where one person might feel really comfortable in, just exercise clothing, gym clothing, someone else might feel more comfortable when they are more put together or when they feel more dressed. So when they put a bit more effort in their clothing, basically. Emotional comfort can also come from the colors that you are wearing. For example, I am not emotionally comfortable when I wear black. This might look black on camera, I don't know. It's navy, it's a dark blue. But I don't feel emotionally comfortable wearing anything that's black. I feel drained, heavy when I wear black clothing, and someone else might love wearing black clothing and they feel so chic when wearing that. Again, that is highly personal. Something else that can come into emotional comfort can be the fit or the cut of your clothing. So again, where one person feels really comfortable in more form-fitting clothing, someone else might feel more comfortable in a looser fit. Where someone likes having a high neckline, someone else might like a very nice deep V. I'm kind of wearing a deep V today with this shirt that's unbuttoned, but someone else might choose to button it all the way up to feel more comfortable. I like having a little bit more skin exposed, I guess, in this way. It just makes it feel a little bit less stuffy for me, and I love that. So for me, that is comfortable. And then also just personal style preferences. I love a more feminine blouse. I love little ruffle details, lace details, but I also know a lot of people that don't feel comfortable in that because they like a slightly more edgy style almost, or a slightly more clean style. So again, super personal what is comfortable. And then there's also just practical comfort. What works for any work that you do for your life, what works for a specific situation or activity you'll be doing, that also does play a role in comfort. For example, this blouse that I'm wearing today, that I feel comfortable in for my life at home, I guess, I would not feel comfortable in when I'm teaching yoga because it doesn't work for that activity. So also that plays a role in the comfort in the way that we dress. So overall, I think this is super interesting to unpack a little bit, and I would like to go into this a lot deeper. I'm not sure how to do that at this point. So if you have any questions about it, let me know and I might dive in even more. But I think this is super interesting and can also be super valuable to be aware of. How you actually feel in your clothing and what something might do for you, how you can use it. And I also think that being aware of these specific points can actually really help you in your personal style. For example, I know that I am comfortable with natural materials. Those feel nice for me physically. Also, emotionally, I prefer the idea of wearing a more natural material rather than, for lack of a better word, plastic, but also physically comfortable. I think wearing a cotton, a linen, a wool is physically more comfortable than wearing a synthetic. Personal preference, absolutely personal preference. I also think they just stay nice longer. They stay looking nice for longer generally. I'm not going to say always, but generally they do. So that is something that I know is more comfortable for me. And because of that, it's a priority when I am shopping for clothing or when I put together an outfit. Actually, at this point, I rarely have synthetic items in my wardrobe anymore. I do have some in lingerie, for example, in the lace. Those are typically synthetics, and for lingerie, they do work. As long as for your underwear there is like a cotton gusset in there, that's a must. But for a bra, a more synthetic version might work well. Again, that is personal. Like I said, I also know that there are specific colors that I gravitate towards, that I feel physically more comfortable in. I generally tend to feel comfortable in blues, greens, whites, purples, cooler colors, and generally also the lighter colors are the colors that I feel my best in. So that's something that I can keep in mind when I am shopping for clothing. And that also goes for fit and cut. There are specific silhouettes that I personally like to wear and that I feel like work for me, that I feel comfortable in. And that might be different for me than it is for you. So I think that is just super interesting. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, I guess. So yeah, let me know any thoughts you have on this subject, on comfort in the way that we dress. Because, like I said, it is highly personal. I also think that this is something, well, I know that this is something that changes over time for us personally, but also for a society as a whole. And also taking that into account, the society that you live in, the community that you live in, can also have an impact on what feels emotionally comfortable for you, on what feels acceptable, and because of that, comfortable. Let me know any thoughts you have on comfort in the way that we dress. Like I said, I would love to keep this conversation going in the comments. If this was interesting for you, please give it a thumbs up. It truly does help out my channel if you do so. It might just mean that one more person gets to see this video, which is a big help. And if you're interested in intentional or slow living, maybe consider subscribing to my channel. I would love to see you around more often. With that, I wish you a lovely rest of your day, and I hope to see you soon. Bye!